Hi, welcome to my project findings. I did a project to see if people could have a healthy relationship with computer technologies, etc. So basically what I wanted to do is find out if people could have a healthy relationship, a healthy balance between their personal lives or online lives, and explore how addiction works and forms and why it does within this project. So one of the first things I did is I conducted a survey to get people's experiences and opinions from this. This helped me further understand how people use their technology, what their balance is like between them, if it's impacted their social lives, if it's impacted relationships, etc. So we'll look at the results in more depth in a little bit. And it also goes in more depth in the actual report. The majority said it hasn't affected their relationships, but it appears to be in a sort of a mixture in different age groups. Some say it has, but some say it hasn't. But on an overall scale, it hasn't affected people's relationships too much. It has affected some people's relationships, though, with people. Majority say they don't cancel plans to stay in. They don't cancel plans to stay in on technology. Instead, they go out as they plan to. And there was only one group to report a 100% yes rating, and that was the youngest group who actually did my survey. Because the youngest group that could have done it, I didn't actually get any reports for. So this shows me that we might not have too much of an issue with technology overall. I mean, some people still do. Like, some people are still addicted to technology. We've seen it, and people have reported being like addicted to gaming, addicted to the internet, addicted to gaining followers. So in my survey, I kind of found out that majority of the people don't seem addicted who took part in my survey, but we could always take further steps to try and make sure we have a good balance. So my participants were anyone who was willing to answer the questionnaire. I wanted results back from different age ranges to evaluate from a mixture of age groups. Which, how I did that was on my survey you had to respond to the first question, which was what age group are you in? And from there it sent you to a separate thing so I could further filter through the results from age ranges. The process, who are the participants? Were people I found either online or in person. They took the same survey online. I mostly got results from online, so I would post it in different communities such as Discord servers, forums, and people would do it as they were willing. The process, was just an online survey. People would have to click on the link and just fill out the questions. It was all like multi-choice, so I didn't have to do too much really other than select checkboxes. They can ignore any questions they wanted. It wasn't mandatory. They could even just close off the questionnaire without submitting it if they felt like they didn't want to. And the data was just used on my report as a statistical, like how many percentage of people did this and that, etc. There is no way for me to identify any of them. I don't know their names. I don't know anything about them at all. I just know that 1, 2, 3 people, whatever, did the questionnaire. So we're going to go back. We're going to get onto the actual survey results now. This was the first question I actually had in my questionnaire, which asked about the age range of the person. So that way I could send them to another form so I could see what age range answered what. So majority of the age range were 20 to 25, some were 17 to 19, some were 26 plus, but none of them were 10 to 16. So on the 26 plus category, it was a 50-50 split between if they were in the computing field or not, which means the people who were in the computing field probably overall will have more time on their computer and technology, which is to be expected, as that's what they do for a living. the other 50% could also still be using a computer without working in a computing field, such as a receptionist or something along the lines of that. So, majority of the people had a computer and a phone. The same amount of people had them. Where some had a laptop and not really anyone had a tablet. Only one person reported having a tablet. When I asked them how many hours a week they use the devices, 100% said 15 plus hours. But only 71.4% said all these hours were online. So they could be doing different things, they could be doing work, they could be writing reports, playing games, etc. 7 to 8 hours and 12 to 14 hours was also reported within the online. When I asked them if they often stay inside to use devices, such as, not going out so you can go on your computer, or not going out so you can go on your phone, 57.1% said yes, while 52.9% said no, so they will still go out instead of just sitting inside and using their devices. So this kind of shows where we may have a slight addiction, but it's not like all of them saying they are, if majority are, but we don't know how often they do that at the moment until we go to the next question where I asked them, do they cancel plans to stay inside the computer device? So 50% said never, but 25% said not very often. So we can already kind of say the majority don't often cancel plans here, because 25% only said often. So we can kind of conclude that while some people do cancel plans, it's not overall a major choice in this age group. When I asked them if it's cause trouble in relationships, they mostly said no. 42.9% said yes, which could be relationships, as I didn't specify too much. Could be relationships with family or the partners. It could be anything. It could be something simple on social media causing the issue, or it could be a more in-depth reason. I've asked them if they think the family have issues with technology, and yet again I should have been more specific here, because there's no way for me to know if they're talking about issues with using or issues with addiction. But majority said yes, which was interesting. When I asked them if they had any negative impacts, majority said no, but some said yes. This is on their social life, so it could be like now they stay inside more and they go out, but majority said it doesn't have a negative impact. And when I asked them if it has any positive impacts, majority said yes too, so maybe it makes them more social without sacrificing their in-person social time. On the next age category, which is 20 to 25, we asked them if they were in the computer field, majority said no. But then when I asked them how many hours a week would they do these devices, majority did say 15 plus hours, but it kind of got split up to 12 to 14, 9 to 11, and 7 to 8. With majority also being online, but it's kind of split up again, so 7 to 8, 12 to 14, and 9 to 11 were also options on how many hours were online. So not everyone spent all their active hours on devices online. The computer and phone were the most popular choices again, with laptop being also kind of popular, but tablet had more responses this time, where on the last age category only one person had a tablet. This time we've got a result back of 5 people having and owning a tablet, of what they use at least. When I asked them if they often stay inside to use devices, then going out, majority said no. Well, majority said yes, sorry. But this is the same as the last one too. We can further try and be like, say, within the next question, where they said majority, 75% said they never cancel plans to go out, while 25% said not very often. So, unlike the other one where 25% said often, we can say that less people in this age category cancel plans, as majority don't cancel plans whatsoever. They keep with their commitments. When I asked them if it's had any negative impacts on their social life, 58.3% said no, while 41.7% said yes. So maybe they've become less social, they've stayed online now instead of going out. When I asked them if it's had any positive impacts, the majority said yes, so majority have had positive impacts on their social life through technology. When I've asked them if it's caused trouble in the relationships, majority said no, with a small percentage saying yes. And yet again, this age group also seems to think that their family have issues with technology. On the 17 to 19 category, I asked if they work in the computer field. They said no, mostly, which wasn't surprising as I figured this age category will mostly be students. The most interesting question here for me was, would you say it's had any positive impacts on your social life? 100% of these people said yes. Like, in this age range, all of them have said yes to this question, which shows me that maybe younger people have a better social life online, maybe. When I asked them what devices usually, again, it's just computer, laptop and phone, which were the most popular, with one person putting in watch. And they said the same with the family having issues, but majority of these people said there was a high percentage of yes here. Now, I also wanted to talk about how addiction works. That was one of the focuses on my report. I talked about addiction, how it works, what forms it. Basically, a task can cause a rush of dopamine to go to your brain to cause like a response to that similar. So gaining a follower will cause a bit of dopamine, it goes to your brain, and then your brain associates a memory with that being pleasurable. Like, that memory was like a good one to cause in your brain. So as time goes by, you want to get more and more, but because you get more, you're going to get desensitized, so you continue doing it to get the same response. And that is basic is how addiction gets formed. And we can talk about how it forms, meaning we know better on how to treat it. So how effective was my study? I believe my study was rather effective. I got good information. I've got a better understanding of everything, but if I was going to do this again, I would want to incorporate interviews so I can ask better questions, follow up on the questions. I would want more emphasis on focus groups, so I can maybe get more specific with age ranges maybe, but also split up by gender and split up by, like, if they work in the computing field. And I'd also want the questions to be more specific, so like when I said, has it caused relationship issues, was that with family, was that with friends? When I asked if the families have issues with technology, is that with addiction, is that with using it? I feel like these points would make it so I got better information and a better understanding. Thank you.